Right, good morning, Sean. Welcome back.
Morning, Bobby. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, fantastic. Like the hoodie.
Thank you. This is like my claim of not being in banking anymore. It's like wearing a hoodie every day or wearing a t-shirt. It's like I'm no longer a banker or
Yeah, when was the
I'm no
last
longer an
time?
investor.
When was the last time you wore a tie to work?
The last time I was asking for money in person, which was about 2 years ago. So yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
while.
progress, eh? Cool. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, with all this optimism, I think we can also have an optimistic conversation because our Bitcoin, our crypto markets are all in the green since we last spoke, which is happiness all around. And I think one of the things to chat about that has contributed to that is the BWord conference. Do you want to tell us what you got out of that, what it was? Maybe you can just give us some insights what that was and your biggest takeaways from it.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, Bitcoin's up 31% over this last week. And that's huge, right? I mean, it's sitting at what, about $39,900, teetering on $40,000. Actually, it just recently broke up now. So it's just over $40,000, which is, I mean, it's insane, right? So now what's contributing to this growth? There's two big news stories, but starting with that BWord conference. So this was organized by ARK Investments, Kathy Wood, and I think the highlight of this conference really was a roundtable that included Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk. And both of these quite prolific figures were talking about the future of cryptocurrency. And Musk revealed that Tesla would probably resume accepting Bitcoin as a means of payment for Teslas in the future. And I mean, Jack Dorsey came out with the most bullish sort of news that Twitter, I guess, could ever have in the crypto space. So short of Twitter actually buying into Bitcoin, I mean, he's stated that the entire future of Twitter will be incorporating digital currencies and in particular Bitcoin in some way, shape or form. So that's naturally, huge news. So that was, I think, the start of this bull run that's taken place now over the last week. And then the second bit of news was on the news that Amazon was looking for a digital currency and blockchain product lead. They still are looking for this, but they did come out to say that they're denying. Yeah, I also said that. I was like, oh, maybe that would be pretty cool. I mean, the biggest retailer in the world looking to accept Bitcoin. This is huge.
Yeah.
What does this person require? I mean, probably a very good understanding of how various wallets work, especially commercial wallets. But unfortunately, that isn't necessarily my specialty. My specialty is growing a business and talking about crypto things. But yes, so they posted this job for digital currency and blockchain product lead, and they then denied reports. So what they said is denied reports that they are going to be launching a Bitcoin slash cryptocurrency wallet or means to accept these as a form of payment later this year. And then what they said is, notwithstanding our interest in the space, the speculation that has ensued around our specific plans for cryptocurrencies is not true. We remain focused on exploring what this could look like for our customers shopping at Amazon in the future.
Oh, interesting.
Still somewhat positive, right?
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. So I mean, it was the last time we spoke, the price was teetering on 30K. I think it had just broken below, and everyone's like, okay, cool. We're going to the 20 mark. Literally within a day, it's just been. It hasn't looked back. It hasn't looked back. And I think also something from the BWord, the talk, I didn't watch the whole thing, unfortunately, but Elon Musk, who also seems to have a very strong influence on the market, came out and said that Tesla still has it. SpaceX, I didn't realize SpaceX had also bought Bitcoin, and that he owns some of himself, and then obviously the infamous Dogecoin too. So, kind of saying that, look, he still believes in it, even though all that FUD that was happening a couple of months ago. So I don't know your take on that as well.
Yeah, so Elon actually came out to say that he owns some Ethereum as well, which I thought was quite interesting. So, I mean, it's great to see that SpaceX owns some crypto. Is it the biggest surprise? Probably not. I mean, it's a privately held company. It's got the same sort of management structure as Tesla. It's appealing to a millennial-like investor. If this ever was to go public, just like in Tesla, you would have a lot of people that are sort of Bitcoin proponents looking at Tesla and looking at SpaceX as well. So probably not too big of a surprise in that front. But I mean, I think this is just laying the foundations of mainstream adoption. I mean, when Amazon comes out to say, I mean, they're denying this, but when they come out to say, listen, that they're looking at the space, I mean, that's pretty mainstream. I don't think you get much more mainstream than this. And you've got a lot of big asset managers. I think there's over 1,000 corporations, and notable corporations, so more than $100 million in revenue a year, that have come out to buy Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And I think if you had to really do some analysis of the market, you're probably looking at hundreds of thousands of companies worldwide that have bought into Bitcoin already. And this could result in an avalanche of people entering the space. Now, I don't want to come out and sound like that guy that you meet at every braai or drinks party that's like, Bitcoin's going to the moon and it's going to be a straight line. No, there are so many different cryptocurrencies competing for this spot and this dominant position. I mean, the stuff that's going on with Ethereum is absolutely insane. I don't know if you've seen how much the Ethereum gas fees have been reduced recently, but like the upgrades that they're implementing seem to be working. And
really,
we're not going to get into that.
I actually haven't been following that. So that's good to know, because that's what everyone complains about with Ethereum. But carry on, sorry.
Yes, I mean, look, those EIP upgrades, they get implemented every so often. And I mean, the big ones are still being implemented, right? So, I mean, we're nowhere near this Ethereum 2.0 upgrade. But the fact that, you know, there's been a lot of froth removed from the network. So, you know, the NFT boom took place. It's still there, but it's teetered out a bit, which has resulted in fewer transactions taking place. I mean, Ethereum is a more active blockchain. It's actually the most active blockchain. You've got more transactions that take place on the Ethereum blockchain than Bitcoin by a factor of about 1.5.
Which that's why a lot of people are saying it's going to overtake.
Yes, I mean, there is a possibility that it overtakes. The difference, I suppose, is that the inflation dynamics between Bitcoin versus Ethereum are quite different. Bitcoin's mainstream, Ethereum is not yet mainstream. Mainstream being like, you know, you've got Teslas and whatnot buying into it. So that could be an interesting investment opportunity. But, you know, as we've said all along, and this is the reason we've launched these bundles, and why we stand by them, is we're saying, well, you just don't know. I mean, Polkadot, I can tell you every company that's at the Berkeley Blockchain Accelerator with us, they're all building on Polkadot. They're not building on Ethereum, which is super interesting just to note. If you look at Cardano, I mean, Cardano technically, for all intents and purposes, can do everything that Ethereum does at a faster and lower, or faster transaction speed, and then at a lower price, which is also really interesting to look at. So there's a lot of teams and protocols moving over to Cardano or starting out on Cardano. So our thesis is to say, listen, don't try bet on any single name, rather own a bigger portion of this market.
I like that. It's like for those people to compare it, Visa and MasterCard, you know, they both have their place in the market. It's kind of, it's Polkadot, Ether and Cardano all kind of fighting for those same of use cases in the crypto space, right? Yeah.
I mean, the smart contract space is really heating up, because this is kind of like the same battle that took place. I mean, internet's hard to sort of make that comparison, but if you're looking at like the cloud storage space, AWS, Azure, Salesforce, Google, I mean, all of these players got into it and they're competing, and the prices came down viciously and quickly. And I think that's probably going to happen now in the blockchain space, because blockchain as a service is being commoditized, and you don't get blockchains that are private. I mean, there's no point in having a private blockchain. That's just like an inefficient database. What you'd rather look at having is a decentralized blockchain that acts as the infrastructure, and you can't get that without having a decentralized blockchain. So you have to utilize a public blockchain like Ethereum, like Polkadot, or like Cardano.
I like that. I've never actually heard that phrase, to be honest. Blockchain as a service. I really like that. I'm going to start Googling and learning more about that. But I guess that's what Cardano, Ethereum, and everything is. It's blockchain as a service. I'm going to change the subject a little bit to a more dreary subject, unfortunately, because someone asked me a question recently and it kind of triggered something for me. And it's about the fact that in South Africa, we're in tax season. And someone asked me what, you know, how are you declaring your tax? And I was like, I mean, for me personally, I bought my crypto. I'm not planning on extracting it anytime soon. So for me, I feel like I can stay away from the beast at the moment. But do you have any advice for people that are looking at kind of having to declare their tax at the moment? Is there anything that they should be aware of at this point?
Yeah. So look, if you're looking at the crypto space in particular, reporting your taxes shouldn't be that difficult. Now, that depends on how active a trader you are. There's a variety of platforms, and if you want to reach out to us at Revix, you know, we can put you in contact with some really smart guys and girls that could assist if you do a complicated sort of crypto tax structure. But I mean, generally speaking, it's pretty simple. You treat cryptocurrencies very much the same as you would treat stocks, where if you've held a cryptocurrency for You could argue for maybe less than a year, but again, this is not necessarily a hard and fast rule. But if you've held crypto for less than a year and you choose to sell it, you're going to be taxed on that gain at the same rate that you get taxed on when you get paid your monthly salary, which can be relatively high. If you've held it for more than a year, and I mean, if you really want to be confident of that, holding it for more than 3 years would then mean that your intent was different. Your intent was to hold this for a longer term. And that would mean that you get a lower capital gains tax rate on any of your gains. That's again why we are an advocate of longer term investing. Now, airdrops, they get treated like income. So different to dividends, which I think is quite interesting to note. So remember, dividends tax is substantially lower than income tax. Income tax would be if you hold your crypto for less than a year, it's treated exactly the same. So there's weird and wonderful things in that side, or on that side of things. But I mean, we actually are launching something at Revix, which Bobby, you didn't know about, but we are launching Revix Tax later this year, which would be to assist people that want to declare their cryptocurrency gains. And they don't want to be dealing with the headache and paperwork and all the rest of actually having to do that. So that's coming out in Q4. So look forward to that.
That's breaking news on this channel. Thank you very much. No, but that's awesome because it's definitely a need in the market. You know, again, we always talk about regulations. We always talk about all this gray area. So it's great to see that Revix are actually embracing and actually helping people, because we need it and we need to embrace the future. Even though the banks and everyone else is kind of holding us back, it's nice to see that, you know, the private sectors, the Revixes of the world are actually embracing it and helping the people, because this is a train. And if you're not climbing on, you know, you're going to miss out wherever this destination is going. And I think that's something big for me. But to close off,
just something else just to add there quickly, Bobby, is that I suppose you asked more around actually declaring the gains. And then I would recommend, I mean, obviously as a law-abiding citizen, declare your gains. But you can be smart about this as well, right? Like you can factor in trading costs. You can factor in any subscriptions that you may have to news sources and all the rest, which can reduce that taxable gain of all cryptocurrency. Now, remember, at the moment, crypto in South Africa is all self-reported. So you have to actually, on your SARS tax return, declare that you have bought cryptocurrency and that you have traded and you've made a gain. If you've made a loss, it's ring fenced. You can include that loss as well, but it's not going to be able to be offset against other asset gains, like stocks or property or anything like that. And I think the big advantage of actually declaring it is that if SARS goes to exchanges and platforms in the future, I mean, they haven't done this to my knowledge to date, but if they were to go to platforms and actually do an audit and you were to be found not to be tax compliant, there can be pretty significant penalties, and it's just really not worth it. I mean, you know, paying a little bit of tax, you know, and making sure that you are abiding by the law just allows you to sleep better at night. And if it's only for that purpose, I'd recommend doing it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree. But I guess we've run out of time. Is there anything that you said there was a promotion or something? Do you want to just touch on it in 30 seconds?
Yes, 30-second promotion. Okay, so we have launched our USDC vault. And until the end of August, you are able to deposit whatever amount you want into the vault. That could be 2,000 Rand. That can go to 2 million Rand, 5 million Rand, 10 million Rand. And we will double the interest that you receive. So that's a dollar-based interest that you would obtain in this vault. It's very low risk, comparable to South African bonds in terms of its risk. And you can make between 5 to 6% per year through this dollar-based savings account. So the reason we're offering this is we believe that more people should be able to get dollar-based exposure. They should be able to save in dollars. So this is targeting an audience that maybe isn't interested in crypto whatsoever, or interested in crypto. I mean, we use crypto as the backbone. But the idea here is that you can earn a much higher yield than what you otherwise would earn at your bank account in hard currency.
Love it. Love it. I do like the fact that we're giving people exposure to that. So Sean, awesome. Thank you so much for your insights in the conversation. Enjoy it as always, and I'll see you next week.